Pandemic. We are compelled to, from time to time, direct that some of you and some members of staff should proceed on leave in order to decongest the presence of Parliament. In the midst of all this, we proceeded to organize orientation workshops for both the new and continuing members of Parliament on their roles and responsibilities, the code of ethics and conduct, rules of practice and procedures, the conduct of parliamentary business, privileges and immunities of Parliament, members and officers of Parliament, and how to process and sanitize draft legislation, scrutinize and approve financial appropriations, among others. And I believe we satisfactorily performed these functions. Despite these challenges, the 8th Parliament of the Fourth Republic actually hit the ground running with the swearing in of His Excellency the President and providing annual platform for him to deliver the State of Nations address. Apart from scrutinizing annual budgets, after embarking on the post-budget workshops, we also proceeded to hold public hearings of nominees of the President, and it was not only with regard to members of the executive, but also those of the judicial arms of government. But at the end of the day, we had 399 sittings, including today's sitting. We're able to pass 60 bills out of 100 that was presented to the House. 22 of them are still before committees. 6 are at second reading and 4 at consideration stage. 8 of them were withdrawn by the sponsors. Out of the 60 bills that were passed, 5 were private members' bills, setting the baseline record of private members' bills in Ghana. The breakdown is captured in the address. I will not be able to read all because it also captures instruments and regulations, bilateral agreements, contracts, financial, motions, resolutions, and everything that we did as parliamentary business, including the rulings of the Speaker of Parliament. So I want to invite members to take time to go through this address to know at least a bit of what you have achieved within these 4 years. Sometimes these are unknown to the people you serve, and they only see Parliament when the small lenses of the cameras bring to them the few glimpses on the TV, and they think that is what Parliament is made of. So it's important that you take some time to go through yourself to advocate and educate our people. But let me mention some very important legislations we passed. One is the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act. The other is the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, which did not receive the assent of His Excellency the President. We passed a very important law on the public financial management of this country, and also on criminal offences amendment bills. The very important ones are those dealing with witchcraft. We have passed a bill against witchcraft. We've also passed a bill abolishing the death penalty. And we have also decriminalized attempted suicide. These are key legislations that have to be brought to the attention of the people who represent here, because they are going to correct many of the ills of our society. And they are groundbreaking bills, which many countries have sought some support to try and emulate our good example. It is because of these bills that we're able to convince the global community to give Ghana a seat in the Human Rights Council of the United Nations. It's unfortunate that some people took a different view, and some of these bills did not receive the assent of His Excellency the President. However, there are some bills that are pending that are equally very important that I believe the 9th Parliament of the 4th Republic will take on board. One is the Constitution Amendment Bill. 2, the International Business and Economic Transactions Bill. 3, the Interstate Succession Bill. 4, the Budget Bill. 5, Parliament Bill. 6, Parliament Transition Bill. 7, Parliamentary Service Bill. 8, Spousal Rights Bill. These are very, very important legislations that are of, or I should say, that need urgent attention. Now, we had to perform an oversight function. That was the place that we had some clashes with the executive arm of government. But it's important for me to note this, that although Ghana's parliament, under this 4th Republican dispensation, has often scored low marks when it comes to performing its oversight function, simply due to the excessive executive overreach, this 8th Parliament has proven that there is hope for proper executive oversight by the legislative branch of government. With the hung Parliament, we have had many instances of the House standing up to the executive, and many government businesses and proposals that were considered to be against the interests of the Ghanaian people were not supported by this House. And so I'm not surprised the majority leader, the leader of the House, itemized some of those businesses. It was not just the minority that stood against it, but some members of the majority also agreed that they were not in the interest of the people of Ghana. And that is how this House succeeded in exercising oversight over the government. We resisted the passage, for example, of the e-levy bill. We even initiated a vote of censure against a Minister of Finance, and it found favor with members of government who constituted themselves into a group and held a press conference to make a call, a very passionate call to His Excellency the President, To do what? To remove the Minister of Finance in question. We set up a committee to investigate the COVID-19 vaccine procurement contract, and we investigated a number of petitions. And on your behalf, I want to applaud the work of the Public Accounts Committee. They did a very good job, and very soon it will be disclosed how much has been retrieved by the state that would have been lost if not for the vigilance of the Auditor General Department and led by the Public Accounts Committee. So congratulations, Chair of the Public Accounts Committee, in the person of Honorable James Kruje Abeji. Honorable members, we had 225 committee sittings. The details are in the report. We also filed a total of 1,449 questions. And ministers answered many of them, but not all. We had 109 statements in the first session, 122 in the second session, 113 in the third session, and only 51 in the fourth session. And that gives us a total of 395 statements. Honorable members, let me underscore the debacle that happened on the 7th of January 2021. I'm referring to the unruly behavior of some members of Parliament, which caused chaos and commotion in Parliament, including the violation of the dignity and aura of Parliament by the intrusion of armed soldiers on the floor, and the breaches of the sanctity of a vote leading to my election as Speaker of Parliament. And these are instances that are regrettable. And I want to, on your behalf, apologize to the good people of Ghana to forgive us for our sins. Let me just mention a few developments in the parliamentary service. I'm sure many of you have heard that if for nothing, the parliamentary service staff, as of today, are more motivated, inspired, and hopeful for their future than before. This is because the Parliamentary Service Board, comprising the leaders of both the majority and minority caucuses, have over the period under my leadership have revised, reviewed, and updated the conditions of service for the parliamentary service of Ghana. We have also created opportunities for them to try to build their capacity to make sure that the institution of Parliament is enabled to perform its constitutional functions. We were helped in this direction by the Corporate Strategic Plan 2020 to 2024 we inherited from the 7th Parliament. And so we rolled out a new organizational structure and a grading system for the parliamentary service. were able to elongate the organogram to create a career progression which was imposed by a short-run grading structure of the service. And we met some staff that got stagnated in one position for 20 to 21 years without promotion. We have started a process of looking at welfare support for members of parliament, because under the laws of Ghana, the parliamentary service is to provide some welfare support for members of parliament. This is not covered under Article 71. There are matters that must be made available here for you to be able to perform your duties and handle your responsibilities very well. We have also now finalized the structure, and we are servicing a parliamentary training institute for the Parliament of Ghana. We have completed the construction of the offices for the Parliamentary Training Institute and also a development office, which will provide additional office accommodation to enable us absorb technical personnel to capacitate Parliament to be able to render some new services that are imposed on us. An example is the fact that now we have to provide fiscal responsibility analysis for every bill that is presented to the House. And we need technical support to be able to do this. We have also reconfigured and refurbished the upper part of this chamber block and converted it into a parliamentary museum. And so honorable members are encouraged to just have a site of it where you can trace the history, the unique history of the Parliament of Ghana from before the colonial intervention up to date. We have restructured the committee system, and now you have 6 cluster organized subject matter areas. We have the finance and economic committees cluster. We have the legal committees, the science and technology. We have the social, infrastructure and security committees, the government, and other few expert areas. We have established the Budget and Fiscal Analysis Office. And we have also improved the IT system. And so, very soon, when it is fully deployed, we'll be using e-voting, not your voices again when the question is put. And we believe that the 9th Parliament will have the benefit of this facility. Because of the security situation, we have to up the cyber security system of the House. This is to ring fence and provide firewalls against cyber security attacks. So, honorable members, those of you who were born before computer